Hey everybody, it's Chris from Alamo Music Center here today to talk to you about some very special instruments, string instruments in particular. So what I've got in my hand is a very fine violin by Fiori Violins, and these instruments are available now at Alamo Music Center. We're going to demo them later, so check out some of our videos on our channel. But for now, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what makes the brand so special. So Fiori Violins is really focused on one-of-a-kind instruments, focused on making instruments in the traditional Italian style of the master makers like Stradivari and Guarneri. Now this is significant because really since the beginning of the 20th century, violin making has diverged from the path that it was on the 200 years prior to that. A lot of instruments were mass-produced in Eastern Europe and even in China starting in the later part of the 20th century. And so there wasn't a lot of attention paid to the more classical techniques of violin making. Nowadays, when students are trying to find instruments, first-time players are trying to find instruments, they get what we call in the industry a violin-shaped object in their hands. And it's really something that is carved to look like a violin, but it really doesn't play like a violin. And it makes it so hard for first-time players to understand what violin playing is really about. The beauty of Fiori Violins is that they've taken these classical techniques and applied them to the entire line of instruments, from beginner, first-time player, all the way up to the master level, which is the instrument that I'm holding in my hand. So from the beginner to the master level, you have this attention to detail that is really reminiscent of the master makers. Now, the brand is named after Andrea and Gaetano Fiori, who were born at the very end of the 18th century and were famous for making instruments in the Emilia-Romagna region, specifically in Modena, Italy, which is the land of balsamic vinegar and Ferraris. You know, they're significant because Cremona, where Stradivari and Guarneri were making instruments, was kind of pitted against them. They were considered to be the greatest instruments in the world, and no one really paid attention to the other regions of Italy, much less any other countries. So Andrea and Gaetano Fiori kind of brought this new approach to violin making in Italy for the early 19th century, and they made more than 2,000 instruments before 1820. So now we remember their legacy as having made these beautiful instruments made in the classical style accessible to people in that region outside of Cremona that couldn't afford the Cremonese instruments. And so the Fiori brand lives on today to emulate that for students of today. They have the highest quality materials, the highest quality craftsmanship across the line, whether you're a beginner or a very advanced player, including wood that is aged 5 to 10, some even 15 years, and has this beautiful antiquated varnish. Now, you'll see this varnish on some of the upper level instruments, but the craftsmanship and attention to detail is still present in the entry level lines. Now, you'll also see some very high quality fittings on these instruments, all of which are, of course, teacher approved. So these instruments stay in tune very well. They're perfect for the first-time player, and then on the higher-end instruments, perfect for more experienced player, more advanced student, college students, even professional players. As many of you know, it is the setup that can make or break a violin, cello, viola, or bass. And so all of these instruments are, while they're handcrafted, they're also hand set up here in the United States. So everything from the bridge to the sound post, even the gorgeous labels in these instruments is all done here so that we can ensure the quality of these instruments and ensure that they meet your needs. Beyond that, if you have very specific needs for your string instrument, we will work with you to create a custom instrument direct from the workshop. So you will get exactly what you want in the instrument, all the fittings we can customize for you, we can customize the bridge height for you, make sure that the instrument is adjusted to meet the frequency response that you want in your instrument. For more information on the specific models in the Fiori Violins lineup, please watch our other videos and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.